gonna mess up. I don't think you guys heard me. I didn't have the mic on silence. All right, guys, we're not gonna let that one slip on this time. We're getting more aware as we start these live streams. Let me set up over here. We can get going on over here, so I can see you guys. And in case you guys are commenting, I think I had my mic off actually for the beginning. But what I was saying is basically, how about what went down tonight on Monday Night Raw? What do you guys think of the Ultimate Deletion? I saw a bunch of mixed reactions from fans on Twitter. Lots of negative ones, I'll say, but we'll get more into that at the end of the show tonight because that was our main event. All right, well, without further ado, let's try this again. Now that I got things set up, let's jump into the World of Wrestling Raw review. All right, guys, let's jump right into it. Alright guys, welcome to the World of Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Jake Randy, and we're going to talk Monday Night Raw. What do you guys think of it? What do you guys think about the Ultimate Deletion? What did you guys think about what's going down and all the feuds heading towards WrestleMania 34? Let me make sure everything's good. I believe everything's good here. Just making sure you guys can hear me clear. I just got finished setting up, so hopefully everything's set up right. Yeah, let's jump into the show, guys. Tonight was a mixture of different things. In my opinion, it wasn't the greatest Monday Night Raw for matches, I would say, because we didn't get a lot of good matches, like in-ring matches. We didn't see a lot of work being done there. We got a lot more build-up towards Mania, a lot more unanswered questions. We got some answers to a few questions, but let's jump right into it. Why don't we start from the very beginning with Kurt Angle, who starts off the show. He kind of gives a recap of what went down last week on Raw when we saw Braun Strowman win that Battle Royale. He says more details will be told on that later on, which we do get later. He mentions that Brock Lesnar is late to Monday Night Raw, and he's promised that he will be there tonight, though. And then he mentions that Roman Reigns, due to his suspension from last week, will not be on Monday Night Raw tonight. More of WWE trying to get people to cheer Roman Reigns with this segment right here. But we do end up seeing Roman Reigns, believe it or not. Kurt Angle is then interrupted by Roman Reigns himself, who comes from the crowd, and he tells Kurt Angle, I don't care if I'm suspended, I'm here tonight, and if we're going to hype up WrestleMania, somebody's got to be here to hype the main event of WrestleMania. So Roman Reigns is there. He pulls up a steel chair. He sits in the middle of the ring. He says, Kurt, he's going to sit there until he gets Brock Lesnar. He says Brock Lesnar should be here. He's like protesting, Kurt calls for security, I guess you would say. I forget the term they actually used. What was it? A U.S. something, man. I forget the name. Whatever it was, honestly, in my opinion, they look terrible. These guys look like you went to Party City and just grabbed some police uniforms and put them on them. Just not good dress up. This guy right here is literally just got a polo t-shirt with a cheap vest, and this guy's got this cheap badge that he's trying to read. Probably trying not to laugh with how foolish he looks. But this segment started off with Roman Reigns getting handcuffed by these U.S. Man, what was the name they called him? Maybe I wrote it down in the notes. I probably did. Maybe I should pull up the notes. Yeah, U.S. Marshals was what they were calling them. They had the U.S. Marshals with quotation marks out there arresting Roman Reigns and exiting him out the arena. They put the handcuffs on him before they can escort Roman Reigns out of the building. Roman Reigns then begins to start attacking these U.S. Marshals, and then we get Brock Lesnar, who out of nowhere shows up to the arena, and as Roman Reigns is handcuffed, we see Brock Lesnar run down to the ring and take out Roman Reigns as he's in a bit of a predicament with handcuffs on. WWE trying to get heat on Brock Lesnar. You know, they're trying to let you know that Brock Lesnar's the heel in this situation. You know, he's taking cheap ways to Roman Reigns while he's handcuffed. He beats him up, and then they eventually stretcher Roman Reigns after he takes such a beating from Brock Lesnar. After Brock Lesnar goes to the ring like 3 different times to beat him up. And then as Roman Reigns is getting stretchered out, he's no longer handcuffed, but he can't move his arms due to being strapped to the stretcher. Brock Lesnar goes out there again and beats up Roman Reigns for probably like the 3rd or 4th time. Again, WWE trying to get heat for Brock Lesnar so they can make Roman Reigns the big superhero that he's supposed to look like come WrestleMania. You know, I mean, honestly, it was pretty a good start to the show, I would say. I don't think a lot. I mean, in some way, we did expect Brock Lesnar to be there tonight, but not in this way. I didn't expect Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns to show up together tonight. I thought either Roman Reigns was going to be there because he was suspended, right? Or Brock Lesnar just was going to no-show again. But we ended up seeing both of them. And I would say, you know, for the casuals, man, if I was a casual watching, I feel like this segment would have worked. You know, this segment probably got a lot of casuals to hate Brock Lesnar. You know, he beat him up while he's handcuffed. He beat him up while he was on a stretcher. For the smart fans, I think they're smarter than that, and they see this as, like I said, obviously this is WWE trying to get Brock Lesnar some heat by the fans, and yeah, that's what they did tonight to kick off Monday Night Raw. We don't see the U.S. Marshals try to do anything about Brock Lesnar, though, right? What else went down? I'm trying to get up the chat setup in case you guys talk in the chat. I want to see it on the screen. So let me just set that up real quick if you guys don't mind. Where's this at? Donations, subscribers, chat right here. All right. Let me set this up real quick just in case. I like to see the chat on the screen in case I don't see it on the other monitor over here. All right, should be set up. All right, let's get back into what we were talking about. All right, we saw Brock Lesnar, right? He beats up Roman Reigns. That ends how they start off Monday Night Raw. Not a bad way to start Monday Night Raw. I will say Monday Night Raw kind of started off pretty good. We've seen this in the past where Raw starts off actually really good in the beginning, the first hour of Monday Night Raw, and then it slowly starts to decline as it goes into the rest of the Raw, which I feel like was kind of what we got tonight. Pretty interesting stuff went down, though. Some stuff, not exactly. I mean, we did see the Revival versus Titus Worldwide. That's kind of a sleeper match right there. But we'll get into that a bit later. After that, what did we see? We saw, Roman was stretchered out. We got a segment when we came back from commercial break as Roman Reigns was stretchered out of the arena. You know, feel bad for Roman Reigns as the WWE wants you to. Then we get Alexa Bliss. She came out and cut a promo. Alexa Bliss on the mic, one of the best in the business. In my opinion, I'm a huge fan of hers, and she proves it on the mic. I will say, though, I won't be biased as big of an Alexa Bliss fan I am. She's not the greatest in the ring, and I think we saw that tonight in her match with Asuka, but we'll get into that. But before that, Alexa Bliss ended up cutting a good promo talking about what she came out and said last week about Nia Jax and how, you know, her conversation got leaked into the world. She didn't know if it was live. She started off by being very apologetic in some sort of way. You know, she swerved everyone once again. She said, I'm sorry that I didn't come out about this sooner. She says, stating that she felt she relieved over 300 pounds of weight off of her. And, you know, basically just talking down about Nia Jax, not exactly apologizing to Nia, sticking up for her words she said last week on Raw. Then we saw Asuka come out because they were scheduled Asuka versus Bliss tonight. So we saw Asuka come out. Then we go to commercial break. We come back and the match has already begun. Asuka versus Alexa Bliss. And like I was saying, to start off this segment, Alexa Bliss, amazing on the mic, a lot better than so many of the talents. But In the ring, she's still learning and she's still slowly getting better, in my opinion. But this match was a bit sloppy. I'm not sure if it was the miscommunication because, Asuka's barrier, language barrier, or what. But it did seem a little sloppy. There were some botches tonight. Not one of the most interesting matches, as these two competitors just don't gel together that well. Like I said, I'm not sure if it's the language barrier or what, but there was a few, you could tell, miscommunications during the match. This match would end eventually when Alexa Bliss would be put in an ankle lock of some sort. It was basically just an ankle lock, just like Kurt Angle's ankle lock. She was put in an ankle lock by Asuka, and she would have her in this ankle lock for a while. Alexa would struggle to get to the ropes. Eventually, she would get to the ropes, and she would grab the ropes, and then she would slide outside, selling her injured ankle, and Mickie James would grab the WWE Women's Championship and pick up Alexa as they would walk to the entrance ramp, causing a count-out victory for Asuka. And then we'd see Nia Jax's music hit before Alexa and Mickie James could take off. Nia Jax just comes running to the ring, runs down the ramp and runs through Mickie James. She chases Alexa around the ring as she tries to grab her. Alexa tried to jump the guardrail, but Nia would grab her then. She would grab her by her hair, and Alexa would land a shot on Nia and try to run away as Nia Jax would chase her off to the backstage area. So there goes the Alexa and Nia feud getting started. So, I mean, I think it's got started already, like last week or the week before. But more heat on that feud. They're adding, I'm glad they're giving the women more time for their feud. It's not just a match that's being thrown together. There's more of a story on this one. Let's see. Yeah, we had Nia Jax. Here's an image of Nia Jax getting a hold of Alexa Bliss. Then we'd go to commercial break. And we would come back and we'd see Alexa Bliss have a backstage segment with Kurt Angle and say, I think Nia Jax should be arrested. She should be suspended. And Kurt says, you know what? I'm tired of people of talent coming up to me all night long and telling me what they want and how they want it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a match between Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania 34 for the Raw Women's Championship. So it's official, guys. This is the match we're going to get. This is what we're going to have come WrestleMania 34 for the Raw Women's Championship. This has been predicted for some time, and it's true. It will happen at WrestleMania 34. And at the moment, it looks like maybe Alexa Bliss is going to drop the title to Nia Jax. As Kurt Angle, he stated that the Raw Women's Champion shouldn't be a bully. She should be a role model because his daughters were watching the show. There's many young women out there watching. So yeah, we're gonna get that match at WrestleMania 34. I would think we might see Nia Jax finally get a hold of that women's championship at WrestleMania. I think Alexa probably drops the title at WrestleMania, just kind of like how she dropped it at last year's Mania, except tonight, at this WrestleMania 34, she'll actually get a singles match, which is great for them too. It's rare that we ever get a singles match between two women, so good for them. Even if a lot of people won't like the feud or won't like their match, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they will put on a good match. Then we get to Braun Strowman, who comes out and he starts talking about what went down last week, how he won the Battle Royale. He was a single man that beat all these other tag team. He was on his own. So the news broke out earlier tonight as I was reading on WWE.com that they said Braun Strowman will have to find a tag team partner as he gets ready for his match at WrestleMania 34. Well, Braun Strowman basically came out tonight and said, I don't need a partner. I can do this on my own. I choose my partner to be myself. And then the Bar would interrupt him and say that he might have won last week against all those other tag teams, but he's not gonna do the same to the Bar. The Bar is gonna run through him, and if he thought what Brock Lesnar did to Roman Reigns earlier tonight was bad, just wait till he sees what the Bar will do to him. Then we get Braun, who responds with, "Well, I know one thing, and that is that Kurt Angle says I have a match with one of you." So they have to choose which man's gonna fight Braun Strowman tonight, and Sheamus kind of tricks Cesaro into getting into the ring, and we get Cesaro versus Braun Strowman. And this match wasn't a squash match, which I'm glad. I hope the one come WrestleMania isn't a squash match either, because I'd hate for the bar to just get squashed. I know a lot of people would be excited to see Braun Strowman just win the titles on his own, and I wouldn't mind it. I would mind it, because I don't want to see the bar just get squashed like that. We've seen WrestleMania moments where, like, for example, we saw Daniel Bryan get squashed by Sheamus with a bro quick. He got distracted by AJ Lee and whatnot, but still, what a waste of a WrestleMania potential match they could have. So I really want to see a good match come WrestleMania between the Bar and Braun Strowman and whoever decides to be his tag team partner. I'd hate for it to just be a quick squash match and they go home. WWE can do better than that, in my opinion. But we've seen, as when WrestleMania comes around, there's a lot of matches that get shortened due to the lack of time and the amount of so many matches they put on WrestleMania. I just hope they give these guys more time in the ring so it's not just a squash match. But we don't know who Braun Strowman's partner is going to be, because that wasn't revealed tonight. It was still an unanswered question going into WrestleMania, with 2 weeks left for WrestleMania, 2 more Raws, I guess you'd say, before WrestleMania. So we will find out. Will it be Elias? I don't know. I feel like they could go that route. Definitely with Braun Strowman not exactly having that many friends in the WWE. You could have Braun Strowman just kind of force Elias to be his tag team partner. Because what else is Elias going to do? Is he going to enter the Andre the Giant Battle Royale? He could. But, maybe this is a better spot for him on the card than the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. Let's see. Then we got a Matt Hardy segment from earlier in the night, where we finally got Matt Hardy introducing at the Hardy compound. He introduced Queen Rebecca, King Maxwell, Lord Wolfgang, Vanguard, and Senior Benjamin to the WWE Universe. This is our first time ever seeing him on WWE television. We've seen him on Impact Wrestling, but this is the first time, I believe, if I'm not incorrect, that is the first time we've seen him. He would then tell Vanguard to scan the compound for Bray Wyatt, because he would be arriving soon, and he would tell Senior Benjamin to prepare the battlefield for deletion. Then we'd go to another commercial break. We'd come back and we'd see Titus Worldwide versus the Revival, I believe. I don't have an image of this, surprisingly. I guess because it was such a short match. I don't know the timeline for Samoa Joe's return, but do you think it's possible? I think it's possible, yeah. That's another rumor I've heard. But, man, I got to look into that more, too, because I believe Samoa Joe is still going to be out till after Mania, I think. And maybe even a little bit further than after Mania. I'm not sure, unless I haven't heard any word on really much on Samoa Joe. But the last I heard was it was going to be till after Mania. So I'm not sure if he's going to be he's a possible tag team partner of Braun Strowman. But again, I haven't heard about Samoa Joe in quite a few weeks, so I don't know. But that is possible. Yeah, that is definitely possible. It'd be definitely a wild tag team. And I feel like that's kind of what they're aiming for, because I feel like this is only to have Braun Strowman in sort of a different picture, to sort of set him aside from the world title picture, because they're going to put him up there come like later in 2018. I feel like they're just sort of pushing Strowman to the side, to the mid card for a little bit, so he can handle business over there, still look strong over there. He's probably going to take the tag team titles off. He could even have like a very weak tag team partner. Maybe that's what Vince would want. He would want a joke out of this. He could bring back James Ellsworth or something, and him and James Ellsworth will win the tag team titles, and Strowman will do it all by himself, and it'll just be for Strowman to look strong for a while, to hold him off until they finally want to push him back into the title picture, the world title picture eventually. I don't know what they'll do, but could be a couple of different people for Strowman's tag partner. They could even, like, I don't know, but I just feel like I feel like he's definitely gonna win at Mania because they're really trying to make him look strong, and I think they're gonna want to create a WrestleMania moment by having that go down. But yeah, I don't know, because his tag team partner is gonna have to be someone that's gonna stick around with him for a while, you know. And Samoa Joe as a tag team, I don't know. I don't know if I can see that happening. But you know, WWE does some unpredictable stuff a lot, so you never know. What else did we have going? Oh yeah, so we had Titus Worldwide versus the Revival, and sort of just a sleeper match, restroom break. I don't know what you want to call it. Not exactly a meaningful match after they just got destroyed last week by Braun Strowman in a battle royale. You know, they don't look very strong going into their matches tonight. They never really looked strong ever since the Revival's come back. They won against Titus Worldwide, and then they got an interview by, man, I forget the names of these people that interview. I might be Dasha Fuentes or someone else, but they interviewed the Revival about now that Braun Strowman's going up against Sheamus and Cesaro, what are their plans for WrestleMania? And they said, well, they're going to be the first tag team to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. So they're the first people to enter the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. And it's official that we will get that match. There was talk about whether or not we were going to get that match because they hadn't talked about it. But tonight they officially announced it. Yeah, Braun doesn't really need a partner. So I feel like they are just looking for somebody that we don't expect. I think, yeah, I don't think he'll win. I do think he'll win, though. Yeah. Yeah, so do I. It's kind of hard for me to imagine Braun Strowman not winning at Mania after everything he's been through throughout the year. I know he lost to Lesnar with one F5, and of course he lost to Roman. But that's Roman and Brock. You know, no one was gonna beat them anytime this year as they were getting ready for their feud. But yeah, they pushed Strowman so much other than that. So I imagine that he is gonna win the tag team titles at Mania. Whether he maybe the storyline is all the way till Mania. It's like, is he gonna get a tag team partner come WrestleMania? Nobody shows up and he just wins the tag team titles by himself. It's gonna make Cesaro and Sheamus look pretty weak that they couldn't beat Strowman by himself. But I mean, I could see WWE having a WrestleMania moment like that. That could definitely be something that go down. It'd be probably a mixed reaction by fans. Some fans would probably like it. Some fans would probably be angry by it. But you know, WWE will do what they do. What else did we have? I was on the Titus Worldwide versus, so they entered themselves in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle. We got Mark Henry inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. News broke earlier. Actually, yesterday I heard about this because there was like some leaked magazine that came out where they announced Mark Henry. They had mentioned that he would be a Hall of Famer, and the owner of the Hall of Pain would enter the Hall of Fame. And it certainly was true, as we got the word earlier tonight, and they announced Mark Henry into the Hall of Fame. Definitely sooner than I thought, but man, well deserved. The guy's done a lot for the business. I really loved his his fake retirement speech he had when he was feuding with John Cena. He got a lot of people emotional that night and thinking that was the end of his career, and then he ended up having one more run with Cena. And he's just been a big help to the business. He's always been known to be a very kind man and helpful person in the Be a Star campaign and everything. So awesome to see Mark Henry go into the WWE Hall of Fame, man. Well deserved. Then we got what else happened? We had Bayley come out, right? Bayley and Sasha, they had a segment in the ring. The question still going around is Bayley and Sasha gonna be a WrestleMania match? Bayley versus Sasha. It's starting to look more like it because they are giving him a lot more time. I don't know if it's just going to be like one of those pre-show matches or what, but they're giving them a little time to go on every night and talk about their friendship. The crowd didn't seem too much into it anymore. I think people expected Sasha to turn heel a long time ago, and now that she hasn't, it's kind of this awkward thing between Bayley and Sasha that just a very long ongoing thing. They went back and forth with each other about Sasha turning on, or not exactly turning, but costing Bayley her chance in the Royal Rumble, costing Bayley her chance at the Elimination Chamber. Bayley would tell Sasha that it wasn't how or what Sasha did to her at the Elimination Chamber, it was how she did it. That stuck with her this whole time. we would get Absolution that would interrupt them because they were scheduled to have a match with Bayley and Sasha. Of course, WWE style of two competitors tag teaming together. Will they get along is the question. Of course they won't. They never do. When does a tag team that doesn't get along well ever get along during the match? We saw them kind of have a confrontation at a point during the match, which actually cost them the match. As Sonya Deville would get that, I forgot what her finishing maneuver is called. I don't even know if it has a name. It's sort of like a kick, I believe. Some martial arts kick that would pin Bayley for the 3, while Sasha Banks had been shoved out of the ring during their confrontation that she had with Bayley. So, more, I guess, tension in their feud heading into Mania. Not sure. I'm pretty sure it's going to lead into a WrestleMania match. I don't see why they would give them so much time if it wasn't. I imagine it happens at Mania. I hope. I mean, I don't know. Is this going to be a pre-show thing? It's not for a title, so they got a lot of matches. Who knows? It might be in the middle of the show. It might just be a pre-show thing. I'm sure we'll find out more about that soon. I don't know a lot of people that are talking about this that much now. It seems like this feud sort of died down. Like I said, it's been ongoing. Sasha never turned heel a while back. So it's been going on for a while, and I'm not sure if the fans are into it anymore. But given the right opportunity in the ring, I think these two could definitely come out and put on a great performance like they've done in NXT. Just the build-up for it hasn't been very great, in my opinion. So then we got John Cena, man. So the question tonight, a big question tonight, was will Cena and The Undertaker meet each other in the ring tonight? Will Undertaker accept John Cena's challenge for WrestleMania? And a part of me actually thought we may see that tonight. We were in Dallas, Texas, the home state of Undertaker's, as he's from Houston, Texas. And I thought we might see The Undertaker in some way. I thought we might see him. But as the show went on, I started to understand why we're not seeing The Undertaker. Cena would go out there and he would say, Undertaker feels like he doesn't belong here anymore, and that's ridiculous. Fans were brought to their feet with the mere name of The Undertaker last week. Cena would ask Dallas if they want to see The Undertaker at WrestleMania, and the place erupts with yes chants. Cena says The Undertaker's response to his challenge is nothing but silence. He hasn't responded to him. He hasn't heard from him. He says it's the biggest mistake Undertaker's ever made. Says it's disrespectful not only to Cena, but to the fans. What are some other things he said? He said it's something about if he's a retired man, then just say you're retired. If you're not retired, then give the fans what they want. Give them this match. And then he would state that Undertaker is a coward. And he would say, do something. The crowd made that into a chant. The crowd started chanting, do something for a while. And then we'd get Kane. And I was actually going to put this prediction on Twitter. I know it sounds dumb coming from my mouth like after it already happened, but I thought about that. I was like, you know what? They're not gonna have Undertaker come out just yet, it seems like. So, what's there to do to stall some time? And Kane, right? Definitely. It's perfect. You have Kane come out. He chokeslammed Cena. Cena asked him before he chokeslammed, is that a yes or a no? Kane didn't respond. He just ended up responding with a chokeslam. So it's official. It's Kane versus Cena next week on Raw. There's only 2 weeks to WrestleMania, so it only makes sense for them to stall. I mean, if they want to stall, which is their plan, then they're doing the perfect thing. They have Kane versus Cena next week. We'll probably just get a simple match. We won't see Undertaker next week. I don't think there's much of a chance there. I think Kane, Cena gets the win on Kane. Maybe he cuts another promo on the Undertaker before walking out. And then 1 week before Mania, I think we finally see Undertaker make an appearance. And we have that stare down between Undertaker and Cena, kind of like what we got with Brock Lesnar and the Undertaker back when they had a feud at WrestleMania 30. I think it took like until the week before Mania before they were both in the ring. So I think we might see the same thing with that between Cena and see there's Kane. He made an appearance. But yeah, I think that's what we see go down. There's a story there, but the fans aren't into it. This is looking like a pre-show match, even though the match should be, that Sasha versus Bayley, if it does become a match, which I think it is, it does look like it's becoming a pre-show match for WrestleMania. But yeah, that's my prediction, guys. I think before we get into the Miz segment, I think that's what we get. I think we see John Cena and The Undertaker have their stare down the week before Mania as they're trying to stall this and really have the fans really want this match before they give them it, which they kind of do already. I mean, we see all the yes chants. We see the fans erupting. Online, it's a different story. You know, there's mixed reactions about Undertaker wrestling again. But every live show they have, the fans really seem into it. So I think they're just building and building and building, and then Undertaker will show up the week before Mania to stare down with Cena. Then we go to The Miz, who has his segment to build up his feud with Finn Balor and Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship, which is going to take place at WrestleMania 34. I didn't get to exactly see this whole segment. I know Miz was out there running his mouth like as usual. I heard at one point what caught my attention when he used their independent names. He said Tyler Black and Prince Devitt. I think he even called him Prince Nevitt or something. But he meant Prince Devitt, and I thought that caught my attention. I'm not sure what he was saying because I was kind of working on setting up the show and stuff. But I know he was out there running his mouth, being his character. The Miz talks a lot. This would lead to the Balor Club versus The Miz and The Miztourage. Yeah, the Balor Club, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, and Finn Balor versus The Miz and The Miztourage in a 6-man tag team match. And Seth Rollins would join on commentary. Then we would see The Miztourage, we'd see Finn Balor get a win over The Miz with a roll-up. Before their match come WrestleMania, he'd get the pin over The Miz with the roll-up. Instantly, The Miztourage would then beat up the club members, and then they would look to jump Finn Balor. Rollins would jump in the ring and save Finn Balor, and then we get a stare down with Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. Again, kind of similar to what they've been doing last week. They sort of just keep having these stare downs. The Miz goes out there, like I said, and runs his mouth. So it's one of those things where like the feud, the build-up, it's one of those feuds again, man, where it's not the greatest build-up, but I'm pretty sure they could have a solid match come WrestleMania. I'm sure these guys will have some great chemistry. They could do a lot of good. They could definitely put on a good match come WrestleMania. At least I would expect that to happen. And what is that? Okay, yeah, we had a Ronda Rousey promo. That also went down. You know, Ronda Rousey, there's a lot of these WrestleMania matches that aren't really being built up well. I mean, we haven't seen Ronda on Raw since they had that segment with Triple H and Kurt Angle where they actually announced the match itself. It's almost like, you know, well, they got the match set up. Now they're just training and they're showing package videos of Ronda Rousey training and talking about her history. I'm not sure if the reason why Ronda's not there is because she's continuing to train as WrestleMania comes closer. There's been a lot of talk about the WrestleMania match they're going to have is going to be highly built up. Yeah, how this, not highly built up. It's going to be highly planned. It's going to be a highly planned match. That's right. Yeah, so it's going to be a very highly planned match so that they can make Ronda Rousey look better than she may actually be. You know, this is their first match, and it's at WrestleMania, so they want to make her look good. So they've been highly planning this match out. So I'm not sure if that's why she's been off television for the past, 2-3 weeks or whatever. But I'm not sure if it's helping their feud going to Mania. All they've been showing is package videos lately about Ronda Rousey and kind of hyping her up. But yeah, so we got that right before the Ultimate Deletion, man. And man, I don't even know what to say about the Ultimate Deletion right now. It was a very odd match, to say the least. And I was on Twitter during this match. I was typing in like WWE Raw and seeing what a couple of people were saying about the match. Very you know, what words are they to describe this match? You know, it's definitely very different. I know the final deletion that took place in TNA or Impact Wrestling, whatever it's called by now, it was very odd, just kind of like this, very highly produced sort of like a film, kind of like an independent film. You know, not exactly the greatest thing. You know, I'm watching my words, but you know what, guys? A lot of people, I don't think really enjoyed this match tonight. Like, I think it was kind of what some people were calling cringe, or I'm trying to use my words wisely, man. I don't want people to attack me, but you know, it just was a very sort of odd match. I'm glad there wasn't a lot of laughing. There was one point in the beginning of the match where Matt Hardy or Woken Hardy actually said like, laughing is over and it's time to fight or something, and then they started fighting all over the Hardy compound. We saw a couple of weird segments where there was a house behind Matt Hardy, and he says, "Bray, does this remind you of anything?" And flashbacks of the House of Horrors house was flashing in his head, and very like, I don't know, cinematic, weird. Yeah, man, I don't know. It was a very weird way to end. I know in Impact Wrestling, the broken gimmick was sort of like so bad that it became good in a way. It's kind of hard to explain, but I mean, tonight was just, in that Ultimate Deletion match, was very weird, man. Hey, Gundam, what did you think about the Ultimate Deletion? Did you watch that match? I want to know your thoughts, because I'm twisted up in my head about this. Maybe I got to watch it back to actually get a smart opinion on this, because I didn't really get to see it. I wasn't a fan. I get what they were going for. It was very similar to the match in TNA, but it just didn't really do anything for me. Same, man. Very odd match. Not a big fan of it. Maybe I just gotta accept that. You know, I feel like being a WWE fan, there's tons of like persuading fans that sort of get you to go a certain way. You know, in the WWE universe, it's like, you know, people kind of push you to hate Roman Reigns, or you should hate Roman. And you know, speaking of that, I know it's a little off topic, but I will give credit where credit's due. Good mic work, man. He has good videos. I watched one of his Raw reviews, and he was talking about how Roman Reigns is hated by the fans, and he mentioned that fans sort of just jump towards the direction of all of other fans the way they think. He said, you know, what we saw with Roman Reigns wasn't that bad. He said, if it was Kevin Owens put in Roman Reigns' situation, where we saw Kevin Owens go back to gorilla position and get in Vince McMahon's face, people would fall for that, man. People would love that. They would be all over Twitter saying how Kevin Owens stole the show and wow, amazing. But it's just that when Roman Reigns is thrown in those situations, I think people automatically jump to the conclusion of, I'm supposed to hate Roman Reigns, or I'm supposed to hate this because all other fans hate this. You know, in this community of wrestling, I don't think we see a lot of their own opinions. I think people live off other people's opinions. I think it would have worked if they would have capitalized on the broken Matt Hardy character sooner, but at this point it was too far removed from the TNA. I agree, it was, man. It took how long? It was, I know that court session they had where the Hardys were getting sued for using the gimmick, or trying to take the gimmick to the WWE. So that whole court process kept them from doing this earlier, and they didn't get a jump into the WWE straight with the broken gimmick. They sort of came in as the Hardy Boys. So yeah, I think time is a big issue. Just like kind of like we talked about how Bayley and Sasha, this has been an ongoing thing. Sasha never turned heel, so now fans are falling off. It's the same thing. Fans are really falling off with the whole broken and woken, whatever they're calling it, gimmick. And tonight was a great example of that, man. I feel like, I don't know if Vince is happy after what he's seen tonight, man. I don't know if he's gonna be happy. I don't know if this is gonna continue as time goes on. This could be the last time we ever see the broken or woken gimmick in the WWE, if it was that bad and they didn't like it. Also, to go back about what you were saying about Roman, you're right. I feel like a lot of people just hate him because it's the popular thing to do. It's true, man. It's just a lot of fans feel like they have to go a certain way because a lot of other people go that direction, you know. It's the popular choice, or it's the popular way to react to Roman Reigns. So people kind of live off other people's opinions instead of actually watching it for themselves, you know, and kind of judging it for themselves. And, you know, that's how the wrestling community is. And it's kind of like that in a lot of things. So it's not just the wrestling community, but it's good to have your own opinion on things. So I'm glad to have mixed reactions. I would love to hear people who disagree and agree with me or anything, man, because it's good to look at it from different angles. People all see it in different ways. I'm sure there's people out there that actually enjoyed the Ultimate Deletion match, and that's fine, man. That's why there's so many fans in the WWE universe, and that's what makes the business interesting. But what else do we have, man? I think that was that was the Ultimate Deletion match that ended the show. Like I said, tonight wasn't the best night in my opinion for matches. Not a lot of good in-ring work, but as we're approaching WrestleMania, it's been all about feuds and build up towards storylines and whatnot. So that's about it. I don't believe I'm missing anything, guys. So without further ado, I guess I'll get out of here and I'll get ready for tomorrow's show in SmackDown. I've commented on some videos supporting Roman and would get so much hate. It kind of sucks that so many people just jump on the bandwagon. Yeah, this and the community is pretty brutal, man. They'll say some stuff, but you know what? You just gotta ignore them and say screw it, man. You got your own opinion. Say whatever you want. Block people if you need to. Some people are just, they can't live for themselves. They can't live their own opinions. They feel like they gotta go a certain direction because it's the popular decision. Like I said, some people, man, they're just brutal. The community's pretty brutal whenever you say something that isn't the popular decision. But screw a man, do you and be you, man. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for tonight. I know WWE 24 is having one of those WWE 24 documentaries. I'm a big fan of those, man. I love being a person who does filming on the side, short films and independent films and whatnot. I love those cinematic shots they have and the stories they tell in these documentaries. Really inspiring, man. So I gotta check that out. I want to go back and watch that. That's gonna be it for me, though, guys. I'm gonna be here again tomorrow. I kind of got the schedule at the bottom now. We got Monday Raw review, Tuesday SmackDown review, and Saturday, of course, my Showstopper, where I join usually my co-host Nate, who will join me and we'll talk WWE rumors, predictions, and just everything that's been going on. Another thing, guys, before I get out of here, I know AJ Styles, apparently the rumor was going around that AJ Styles was getting evaluated on Monday Night Raw tonight backstage, because apparently he had like injuries or something. I don't know if it's a work or what, but apparently he had some ongoing injuries going on, so he was going to get evaluated. Hopefully all is well, and the Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles match at WrestleMania will be all good, and we'll see that match because that's the dream match right there. They should steal the show. Looking forward to that. Hopefully I hear an update on that. If I do, guys, I'll tweet about it or something. You can follow me on Twitter with the link in the description. That's going to be it for me today, guys. Thanks for watching the World of Wrestling show. As always, I'm your host, Jake Randy. And if I'm done here, which I think I am, I'm going to get on out of here, guys. You guys take care, and I'll see you guys for the SmackDown review tomorrow. All right, guys. Take care.